guys, in today's video we're going to be talking all about sinking funds. What is a sinking fund? What is the purpose of a sinking fund? What area in the budget does it fall into? How to set up a sinking fund? And most importantly, what are the 10 sinking funds that you need to be successful in your budgeting and finance? So if you want to learn more about sinking funds, then keep on watching. I'm Gabby, and I'm here to help you on your journey to a happy life. On this channel, you will learn how to navigate through the struggles of life so that you will have more time, energy, and resources to spend on the people and the things that you love the most. Today's video is another video in my budgeting series, which if you haven't seen the previous videos, the first video that I made in my budgeting series is all about being sick and tired of debt. So if you want to go check that video out, I will link it in the cards above and also in the description box below. The second video about budgeting is all about how to set up a budget in Excel, which I will also link in the description box below and in the cards above, so you can go and check that out. The third video in my budgeting series is all about whether couples should combine their finances, and if you want to check that video out, it will also be linked above and in the description box below. But for today, we're going to be talking all about sinking funds. In the next few budgeting videos in my series, I've decided that I'm going to be talking all about the different budgeting categories that you need in your budget and how to set them up and what they all entail. So if you're interested to learn more about that, then stay tuned, subscribe down below so that you don't miss when I upload those videos. So let's get into the video. What are sinking funds? What are they used for? What is their purpose? How to set them up, and what are the 10 sinking funds that you need in order to have a successful budget and be successful in your finances. If it's your first time watching, hi, welcome. Please subscribe and join the family as we journey on to a happy life. So what is a sinking fund? Well, I've watched hundreds of videos on YouTube all about budgeting and finance, and I have learned quite a lot over the few years of watching budgeting videos. I've watched a lot of Dave Ramsey videos. They're very informative. I've learned a lot, so I'm just here to share what I've learned with you guys. So what is a sinking fund? A sinking fund is a fund that contains money set aside for a specific purpose. It could be used to pay off debt. It could be used to save for an upcoming expense. It could be used to save for the things that you want. And it is a very helpful tool that helps you to stay out of debt. I made a previous video about why you need to be sick and tired of debt and how to never go into debt again. So like I said, if you want to see that video, I will link it above and in the description below, so check that out. But sinking funds is a very useful tool that helps you to stay out of debt. When these big expenses come up in our life, like baby showers, birthdays, car license renewal, all of these things, and we don't have any money saved up for it, then we usually end up taking money out of our budget, and then we end up having to swipe things on a credit card or go into debt to pay for these things, and we don't want to do that. So sinking funds helps us to prevent that from happening. A sinking fund is a strategic way of setting aside money every month for a specific item. Sinking funds is not the same as a savings account, although you can put your sinking funds into a savings account, but it is not the same thing. A savings account, you just end up putting money away, and it doesn't really have a purpose or a reason for it, and it doesn't really have a fixed amount. Whereas a sinking fund, you know exactly what you're going to be using it for, and you know exactly the amount of time that you're going to be saving up for. That is the difference between a savings account and a sinking fund. A sinking fund is also not the same as an emergency fund. An emergency fund is, again, something that you save up for an emergency. For example, if your car breaks down or if you have to suddenly go to the doctor for something. But a sinking fund is not only for emergencies. Again, a sinking fund is for a specific thing at a specific time. So what you do with a sinking fund is you put away a specific amount of money every month for a specific expense that is coming up, that is not part of your normal expenses, so that when the time comes that you have to pay that expense, you don't have to scramble around in your budget trying to find money to make this payment, but you actually have saved up for it and planned ahead for it. That means you don't need to dip into other areas of your budget, which we all know we do from time to time. Why do you need a sinking fund? Let me ask you this. Do you have a car? Do you have pets? Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, a husband or a wife? Do you have children? Do you have family members? Do you have a mother and a father? Do you have friends? Do you celebrate Christmas? You probably have a car that's going to need a license disc renewal at some point. You probably have pets where they're going to need a trip to the vet at some point, and vet trips add up and they can be really expensive, especially if you haven't planned for it. You probably have family members that have birthdays coming up, or Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, etc. We all know that every year in December, Christmas rolls around. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, December is a holiday season and we like to travel sometimes, go to the beach and do fun things. What I'm trying to say is, in the next few months, there probably will occur some expense that is coming up that you need to plan for, that is not usually part of your normal budget and your normal expenses. A sinking fund helps you to take care of these expenses so that you do not take out money from your normal budget and end up falling behind on your payments or end up having to go into debt to cover these payments. That is what a sinking fund is used for. That is its purpose. It really helps you plan for large expenses such as weddings, car service, furniture, Christmas gift, back to school season. We know every year that back to school season rolls around and it can be expensive. So that is a big expense that needs to come out of our budget, and it usually rolls around in January, where we maybe have spent all of our money already during the December holidays and we don't know where the money is going to come from for back to school season. We need to buy school clothes and stationery. So a sinking fund can help you plan for these expenses. So it helps you plan for fun events that you want to go to. It helps you have a little bit of a safety net. It can help you plan for medical expenses like co-payments, and it can help you plan for major purposes such as furniture or even a car or things like that. Before we carry on to the video, guys, I just want you to comment down below what is a major or minor expense that you have coming up in the next few months, and are you planned for this expense? Do you have a sinking fund set up for this expense, or are you going to be taking it out of your regular budget? Now that we know what is a sinking fund and what is its purpose, how do we go about setting up a sinking fund? I've seen so many videos online on how to set up a sinking fund. I've watched videos from Dave Ramsey and the Budget Mom and so many other people here on YouTube that will help you set up a saving fund. It is basically, it's so simple. All you have to do is, say for example, if you have a car license disc renewal and that renewal is coming up in November, and say we are currently in January, then you know from end of January up to end of October there's 10 months, and you also know that the total license disc renewal, which happens to be in November, costs $870 Namibian. So you're going to take that $870 Namibian and you're going to divide it by the total amount of months, which is 10 months. Then you're going to get 87 Namibian dollars. That is the amount that you need to put away every single month from the end of January up until the end of November. That is going to help you when it comes to November to pay your car license disc renewal without any stress, without any hassle, without going into debt, swiping a credit card, borrowing money. All you have to do is go into your sinking funds, get all the money that you saved up and go and pay for that. It is so simple. It takes away so much stress. It takes away so much hassle. We all know that expense is coming up. And so a sinking fund helps us to prevent having to pay the entire $870 in that month. It breaks it up over 10 months, and so it's only $87 that is coming out of your budget every month, which is much more easier and much more relaxed compared to $870 coming out of your budget in 1 month. Now, the sinking fund should be very easily accessible, which means if that expense comes up, you shouldn't have to wait 32 days before the bank releases the money, or it shouldn't be in a fixed savings account where it takes a long time for you to be able to access that money. You need to go get permission from the bank, etc., etc. It needs to be in a place where it is easily accessible, so you can store it in cash if you feel comfortable doing that. What Dave Ramsey recommends and what a lot of people do is they have cash envelopes. So on the envelope they will write, this is my sinking fund for car maintenance, or a sinking fund for pets, or a sinking fund for birthday, or sinking fund for Christmas, and every month they deposit the amount of money into that envelope and they put it in a safe place, somewhere where it's not easily accessible, so that if you need money for some other random expense, you can quickly run in and go and get your sinking fund. So it shouldn't be too easy accessible, but it shouldn't be too far away where you can't get to it. So you just need to put it in a safe place. Either you can put it in a savings account in the bank that is easy accessible, or you can put it in the cash envelopes and hide it away somewhere safe where you know you can't dip into it when you want to go buy ice cream on the weekend or something like that. So what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, okay, what expenses do I have coming up within the next year? We definitely know that Christmas is coming up, or December is coming up, and we know that we like to go to the beach, we like to go to water parks and these things like that. So we know that Christmas is coming up, we know that my car license renewal is coming up, we know that we might have to take the dogs to the vet to go get their shots this month or in the next few months. So you list out all of the things, all of the expenses that you can think about that are coming up. For example, if you know that your husband's birthday is in 3 months and you have a gift in mind for them, say the gift costs $300, then you know that every month you need to take out of your budget $100 and put it into an envelope somewhere safe, so that by the time it's his birthday month, you can easily go and take that $300 and go and buy him the gift that you wanted without having to dip into your budget for that month. That's how sinking funds save you a lot of stress and a lot of hassle, and it helps you save money and it helps you stay out of debt. So once you've listed out all of the expenses that you can think of that are coming up, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Christmas, holidays, whatever it is, then you need to go and write down, okay, what is the total amount that you need to spend on that expense, and how much time do you have until that expense is due? So how many paychecks are coming up, how many end of the month is coming up, and then say, for example, if it's 3 or 5 or 8 or 12 or whatever it is, you take the total amount of money that you need for that expense, you divide it by the total amount of month to get the amount that you need to put away every single month. And you could write down on an envelope, put all of your sinking funds into the same envelope or into the same bank account, but then you just need to keep record of how much money is allocated to each sinking fund. So for example, to the birthday, 300, to the car license, 870, to, you just write down the total amount so that you can keep track of the money that is actually in the sinking funds. So if you didn't know, I did a video how to set up a budget in Excel, and maybe you're wondering, well, Gabby, where does the sinking funds fall into my budget? The sinking funds go into the variable expenses section of your budget, because it is not going to be a fixed expense that you have every single month. Say, for example, you've been saving up for your pets and your car license and a birthday coming up. So you had 3 sinking funds, but now this month your dogs need to get their shots. So you've paid for the dogs to get their shots, but now you only have 2 sinking funds left to save for. So your sinking funds is not going to be the same anymore. The amount that you save towards your sinking funds is going to decrease. So your sinking funds is not a fixed expense. It's not a savings account, so it doesn't go into your savings section. It goes into your variable expenses section. So there you have it, guys. Please check out my other budgeting videos in my other series. Subscribe below, because I will be making more videos about the budgeting categories that you need to have in your budget. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon in the next one. Bye!